Good afternoon, friends. Steve Benoon here with Israeli News Live. And as the title says, talking about Russia, Russia did not attack Poland. Of course, now Russia did lob in, gosh, I think they said close to 100 missiles. And that was, of course, the cruise missiles coming off subs as well as planes dropping bombs, things like that over into Ukraine, really targeting the infrastructure of Ukraine. But when I shared with you guys yesterday in our news article there that the crater just did not match that of a cruise missile. And that was just, of course, my own analysis. But then the AP News, they come out and say that Poland, NATO say missile strike wasn't a Russian attack. What do you know there? Isn't that nice? Finally, somebody admits the truth there. NATO member Poland and the head of the military alliance both said Wednesday a missile strike in Polish farmland that killed 2 people did not appear to be an intentional attack, that the air defense in neighboring Ukraine likely launched a Soviet-era projectile against a Russian bombardment that savaged the Ukrainian power grid. Ukraine defense was launching their missiles in various directions, and it's highly probable that one of these missiles unfortunately fell in Polish territory, said Polish President Andrzej Duda. There is nothing, absolutely nothing to suggest that it was an intentional attack on Poland. So, yeah, it was just it's crossfire there, and of course, anti-aircraft missiles there is what happened. So that's where the problem came in. Sorry, my voice is a little crackly here today. Another thing, too, Germany is offering to send combat jets to Poland, and the move would be aimed at strengthening air policies with the German Eurofighter aircraft, say Defense Ministry spokesman there, I guess, to patrol the skies there over Poland. We can expect. And another thing that really caught my attention, too, well, a couple of things here. Iran is denying. Well, they're saying that they sent the drones to Russia before the Russia had actually launched the invasion inside of back on February 24th inside of Ukraine. Now, of course, we say invasion, but you have to remember Russia was having to head off already a NATO-backed Azov battalion who was planning on trying to wipe out the Donbass region. So they did that in defense. Now, this drone attack that Israel is blaming on Russia, Israel's blaming on Iran for a drone attack on an oil tanker off of Oman. Now, that oil tanker is operated by the Singapore-based company in China there, but it's owned by an Israeli billionaire named Idan Ofer. And Idan Ofer, he owns it, so Israel, of course, is making it look like Iran has attacked an Israeli tanker, oil and gas fuel tanker there. But if you remember, guys, it may have been as late as end of last year, early this year. I forget exactly when I spoke about this, and it could have been over on our Patreon broadcast as well. We were sharing intel that there is going to be an event that takes place in the Middle East that could very easily cause World War III to take place. I don't know, but when you're being told from intel that an event could happen in the Middle East that could ignite World War III, that lets you know it's going to be a staged event. Hello? Anybody can say hello to that one, right? So I am very concerned when I see these type things here. And of course, the first thing I looked for was to see if Iran denied it. If you remember, there were a couple of oil tankers that were hit. I believe they were the Japanese oil tankers. Last year or something like that, we reported on it. And then we'd gotten information from intel out of Iran that we had. Maybe it was more than a year ago. And we were able to prove that they were using boats to make it look like Iran, but they staged the attack to blame it on Iran. So I'm very leery when I see stuff like this. Now, I'm not saying Iran's a great country, does great things. They do a lot of bad, evil stuff themselves. But when things like this go on, all these false flags we know that happen, yeah, you can pretty much expect pretty much anything is possible at that point there. I will say this though, Russia going in and launching all these cruise missiles here, hitting infrastructure inside of Ukraine, especially this time of year, knocking out electricity. I know my wife's family, her sister that lives in Slovakia, they're already dealing with 500% increase in fuel, so they can't even heat their homes. It would take their entire paycheck to heat their homes. So what are they doing? They're sleeping in jackets. They're sleeping in multiple layers of clothes, things like that, because they would rather eat than try to heat the house. That's how bad it is there, guys. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And so, you know, keep those people in Europe in mind. People all across Europe are suffering like this. So if they do have electricity, they can't afford to turn it on. And of course, if they're in Ukraine, they're not going to turn it on anyway because there is no electricity. And Germany is bringing down the Black Forest in order to be able to get firewood. And they approached Biden for help, and Biden turned them down flat. Biden said, nope, sorry, we've gone green here. Not going to give you any wood on our end either. There's some crazy things going on. And by the way, the reason why we have the diesel fuel shortage in this country is because Biden said we're sending all of our diesel over to Europe. Well, I wonder why, right? So, yeah, because we have a war to support there, and the Saudis are not going to up the production. So, day one, day two, it appears there is diesel shortage, and Mansfield has declared code red. So we're already starting to see that come out. I wanted to kind of follow that because I know that we're getting at that, really getting at that stage there about the shortages here. By the way, don't forget to follow us over on Twitter. Gosh, I don't even know what. I got a couple of different accounts over there. Israeli News Live at Stephen Ben-Nun, Bennun. I did have another account there. Ended up messing that up. I don't know how I messed it up, but I messed it up somehow or another. So I know a lot of people were on the other account there. So definitely check it out right there, so we can keep up with you guys. And I did sign up. What was that? TikTok or something like that? I forget now. Mainly because I like to be able to see what's going on using these different platforms. But at any rate, God bless you. Thank you for listening. And pray for our family there. A lot of things going on here. And we'll stay in touch with you guys. God bless and have a great night.